Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. What if I told you the single most fundamental force in the universe, the invisible hand that sculpts galaxies and holds our very feet to the ground, might not be as constant as we think? Imagine, for a moment, a world where gravity was optional. A place where planets could simply decide to wander off their orbital paths, where stars could shrug off their cosmic partners, and where entire solar systems could dissolve into chaos. It sounds like science fiction, a wild fantasy cooked up for a summer blockbuster. But what if I told you that out in the vast, silent darkness of space, we found a ghost? A rogue planet, adrift and alone, that is behaving in ways that defy our understanding of physics. It's a world that seems to be playing by its own set of rules, a place that whispers a terrifying question. What if the laws of the universe aren't laws at all, but merely suggestions? This is the story of Xylos, or more formally, Designated Object Ogle 2016 BLG 1195 LB. Now, that's a mouthful, so we'll stick with Xylos, a name unofficially given to it by the researchers who first flagged its bizarre behavior. Xylos is what astronomers call a rogue planet, or an orphan planet. It doesn't orbit a star. It's a wanderer, endlessly drifting through the interstellar void. We've found a few of these before, cosmic nomads cast out from their home systems during violent celestial events billions of years ago. They are incredibly difficult to detect, usually only found by chance through a phenomenon called gravitational microlensing, where their immense mass briefly bends and magnifies the light from a distant star as they pass in front of it. That's how we found Xylos. A faint, telltale flicker from a star millions of light years away signaled its presence. But that's where the similarities to other rogue planets end. When we first detected Xylos, the microlensing event was odd. The light curve, the graph of the background star's brightness over time, wasn't smooth. It had a strange, stuttering quality, almost like the gravitational field of Xylos was fluctuating. At first, the team at the Las Campanas Observatory in Chile thought it was an equipment malfunction or atmospheric interference. They ran diagnostics, recalibrated their instruments, and waited for another rogue to pass by a star. But the data was clean. The anomaly was real. It was as if Xylos was flickering its gravity. This is where the story gets truly strange. Follow-up observations were immediately planned. Telescopes across the globe, including the Hubble and the newly commissioned James Webb Space Telescope, turned their powerful eyes towards the patch of sky where Xylos was predicted to be. Finding a cold, dark planet in the blackness of space is like finding a single black grain of sand on an infinite black beach at midnight. But they had its trajectory. After months of painstaking analysis, they found it. And what they saw sent shockwaves through the astronomical community. Xylos wasn't just a dead, frozen rock. The James Webb Telescope, with its incredible infrared sensitivity, detected a faint, intermittent heat signature. Not from geothermal activity, not from residual heat from its formation, but from something else entirely. The heat wasn't constant. It pulsed. It flared up for a few hours, then died down for days, sometimes weeks. And here's the kicker. Every single time the heat signature pulsed, sophisticated instruments monitoring its gravitational influence on nearby interstellar dust showed a corresponding dip in its gravitational field. It was undeniable. When Xylos heated up, its gravity weakened. This observation is, to put it mildly, impossible. According to everything we know, from Newton to Einstein, gravity is a function of mass. An object's mass determines its gravitational pull. It's a fundamental property. For an object's gravity to change, its mass would have to change. And Xylos wasn't shedding mass. It wasn't venting gas or dust into space. It was, for all intents and purposes, a solid, stable planet, roughly the size of Neptune. Yet it was actively, and seemingly deliberately, manipulating its own gravitational field. The theories began to fly, each more outlandish than the last. Could it be made of some exotic form of matter, something that doesn't conform to the standard model of particle physics? Some theorists proposed the existence of negative mass, a hypothetical substance that would repel rather than attract. Could Xylos be a bizarre conglomerate of normal and negative matter, somehow able to shift the balance between the two? The problem is, we have zero evidence that negative mass exists, and the physics required to control it would be beyond anything we can currently comprehend. Another theory, one that borders on the philosophical, is that our understanding of gravity is fundamentally flawed. Einstein's theory of general relativity describes gravity as the curvature of spacetime caused by mass and energy. It's been one of the most successful theories in the history of science, passing every experimental test we've thrown at it for over a century. But it's also known to be incomplete. It doesn't mesh with the world of quantum mechanics. Perhaps Xylos is a unique cosmic laboratory, a place where quantum effects are manifesting on a macroscopic scale, allowing for the direct manipulation of the spacetime fabric itself. Imagine being able to locally flatten spacetime, effectively turning gravity off in a specific area. The energy required would be astronomical, far beyond what a rogue planet should be able to generate. which leads us to the source of those mysterious heat pulses. What could be generating that much energy and in such a controlled, intermittent fashion? The energy signature didn't match any known natural phenomenon. It wasn't nuclear fusion, like in a star. It wasn't radioactive decay. The spectral analysis of the heat was clean, too clean. It resembled the energy output of a highly advanced, incredibly efficient engine. And that's when the most unsettling theory of all was put on the table. A theory whispered in the hushed corridors of NASA and the ESA. A theory that most scientists are still unwilling to say out loud. What if Xylos isn't just a planet? What if it's a vehicle? Think about it. A rogue planet untethered to a star is a lonely place. It receives no warmth, no light. Life as we know it couldn't survive on its surface. But what if a civilization, billions of years old, had evolved beyond the need for a home star? What if they had turned their entire planet into a self-sufficient ark, a generation ship on an unimaginable scale? They would need a colossal source of energy to survive the deep freeze of interstellar space, and they would need a means of propulsion. Conventional rockets are laughably inefficient for interstellar travel. The amount of fuel required is staggering. What if you could manipulate gravity itself? What if you could create a localized gravity drive? By momentarily reducing your own planet's gravitational pull, you could then use the gravitational tug of distant stars and galaxies to pull you along, like a cosmic slingshot. It wouldn't be pushing against anything. You'd be falling through space, but choosing your direction. You could navigate the cosmos not with brute force, but with a sublime, elegant dance with the fabric of spacetime itself. The intermittent heat pulses the Webb telescope detected could be the waste heat from this unimaginable engine. A system that allows the inhabitants of Xylos to literally switch their gravity on and off as needed for propulsion and maneuvering. This idea is both terrifying and exhilarating. It would mean that there is life out there so far beyond us that they treat the fundamental forces of the universe as tools. They don't just live in the cosmos, they pilot it. The implications are staggering. Where did they come from? Was their home system destroyed, forcing them into this eternal exodus? Or are they explorers, cartographers of the galaxy on a journey that has lasted for eons? And the most pressing question of all, where are they going? Its current trajectory is what has military and strategic analysts losing sleep. Based on our calculations, Xylos is not just wandering aimlessly. It's on a course, a very precise course, and that course is pointed directly towards our local group of galaxies. It won't arrive for tens of thousands of years, a blink of an eye in cosmic terms, but it's coming. Is this intentional? Is the Sol system, our sun, and our tiny blue planet a destination? Or are we simply a gravitational landmark on a much grander journey? We are trying to learn more. Proposals have been drafted for a high-speed interstellar probe, a mission that would take centuries to reach Xylos, but could give our descendants the answers we so desperately crave. We are listening, pointing our most sensitive radio telescopes at the silent wanderer, hoping to catch a stray signal, a whisper of communication, a hint of the intelligence that may lie beneath its frozen surface. But so far, there has been nothing. Only the rhythmic, impossible pulse of its heat and the corresponding flicker of its gravitational field. A cosmic heartbeat in the endless dark. The existence of Xylos forces us to confront our own cosmic insignificance. We are a species that has only just begun to dip our toes into the ocean of space. We are still tethered to our rock by the very force that this mysterious object seems to command at will. We look up at the night sky and see laws, constants, and predictability. But maybe we're just not seeing the whole picture. Perhaps the universe is not a clockwork mechanism, but a place of infinite possibility, where even the most fundamental rules can be bent or even broken. Xylos is a ghost in the machine of the cosmos, a phantom that proves the universe is stranger, more complex, and perhaps more populated than we ever dared to imagine. It's a reminder that we are not the masters of this universe. You're not even close. We are children, just beginning to open our eyes in a world governed by forces we can't possibly understand. And something out there has already mastered them. What if gravity isn't a constant? What if it's a technology? The questions raised by Xylos are profound, and frankly, terrifying. We are left staring into the abyss, and for the first time, we have evidence that something is staring back, not with eyes, but with the very fabric of spacetime itself. This single, solitary, wandering world has shattered our understanding of what is possible, and it has set a new, impossibly high bar for what we might one day find out there in the great, silent darkness between the stars. It's a game changer. It means we have to reevaluate everything we thought we knew about our place in the universe. The story of Xylos is not over. In fact, it has just begun. Every new observation brings more questions than answers. It's a mystery that will likely define astronomy for centuries to come. It's a puzzle that challenges the very core of our science and our philosophy. They are out there, and they are coming. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe my YouTube channel for more interesting videos.